Well, it's a tough market. I think anyone knows that. But what we've really tried to do is focus in on our core strategic imperative, and that is to be a consolidator and developer within the cobalt market. There are lots of opportunities in that space. The cobalt price has come up significantly, which has made projects that were probably marginally economic before much more valuable for shareholders. The other thing is we've made an effort to take funding in at the project level rather than the corporate level, so we can minimize our dilution while we're rebuilding our value back into the company. It's been really tough. You can take a look at our chart and see it in action. When Russia went into Ukraine, there was a very significant sell-off for our shareholders who were uncomfortable with that Russian exposure. We've listened to that, and we have reached out to bring in new projects into the company while we continue to maintain the Karakul project. This is really an attempt to make sure that we could keep the Karakul project in good standing and continue to move it forward with our Chinese partners who are helping us analyze the economic and technical opportunities with respect to Karakul. Our partners had some difficulties, and we wanted to make sure that we could continue to work on the project, but we needed a standstill period so that we could keep the option agreements in good standing while they worked through their issues. Well, we remain really committed to Karakul. We feel it's one of the best primary cobalt projects in the world. Although we have not been able to secure project funding from our European partners due to the financial situation and geopolitical situation, we are continuing to work with our Chinese suppliers, Bgrim and Eastspring, to complete the technical and economic assessment of the project. They're utilizing the 43101 that we completed in the spring. They're moving that process forward at no cost to us and our shareholders, which is an enormous benefit for us, and we're really pleased so far with what they've been able to bring to the table. Cobalt market's a pretty exciting place to be. Really, the big push right now is on the demand side. So over the last 18 months, the cobalt price has gone up about 50%, and that's really being driven primarily out of the battery space. And with entrants like Tesla, for example, the concept of these gigafactories, people really don't understand how much cobalt is in an electric vehicle, or even in something as simple as an iPhone. So when the iPhone 6 comes out, that's a big demand pressure, or new demand pressure on the cobalt market. And the supply side has always been fragile. It's a fragile supply chain, and so we're at this really neat, we think, break point where the cobalt price has climbed up to absorb a bunch of new supply that came into the market in 2012, 2013. It's consolidated really nicely, and we know from our Chinese partners and other people in the Asian market that there's a new scramble out there for cobalt supply. We're really excited about what we're doing in the US and Canada, and because of the increase in the cobalt price, that's really allowed us to look at projects like Warner Lake, which is our Ontario cobalt project, past producing cobalt project, and our Iron Creek project, which is a historic resource in the Idaho Cobalt Belt, which is a really prospective belt in the US. Both of them being domestic, we're excited about that. Both of them have historic resources on that we'll be looking at again to see how we can move them into current resource category and then move them forward. In addition, we're looking at other projects to bring into the company to really continue what we set out to do in the first place, which was to be a consolidator within the cobalt market.